Today, I have something that I believe will resonate with someone out there. And I want to be clear that this is a very specific message for someone, and I trust that it will reach you if it's meant to. I want to take this time to speak from the heart. Life can be challenging, and we all go through moments where we feel confused, lost, or unsure about who we are or where we're going. It's completely normal to have times when we struggle to find our way. Sometimes we know deep down that something isn't right, but we continue to ignore those feelings because we fear what will happen if we face the truth. But let me tell you something important. You are not alone in this journey. Everyone has their own challenges and moments of struggle, and everyone is on their own path to understanding who they truly are. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. How to face the truth when you know something is not aligned with who you are. The struggle within right now, I'm speaking to someone who is struggling deep inside. You might not even fully understand what's going on, but something inside you is telling you that what you're doing is not what you're meant to do. Maybe you've known this for a while, or maybe it just recently became clear to you. Either way, this feeling has been pulling at you and it's hard to ignore. You're not alone in this. Many people face moments in their lives when they feel conflicted about their choices. It's like being caught between two opposing forces, what your heart is telling you and what your mind or society expects from you. It's so easy to get stuck in your own head, trying to figure out the right thing to do. And the pressure is real. We live in a world where there are expectations, labels, and judgments everywhere. We often feel like we have to live up to other people's standards or follow a path that society has laid out for us. But the truth is, none of those expectations matter if they are not in line with who you truly are. If you've been feeling like something is wrong but aren't sure how to face it, I want to encourage you to take a moment to breathe. It's okay to feel lost. It's okay to feel unsure. What matters is how you handle it going forward. Understanding the conflict, the struggle you're facing, might feel like a constant tug of war between what you know is right for you deep down and what you feel you are supposed to do. And it's exhausting. It's like you're constantly battling yourself, and no matter what choice you make, it doesn't feel like the right one. You might be in a situation where your heart is telling you one thing, but the reality of your life is telling you something else. And it's hard to let go of something you've invested time, energy, and emotions into. At the same time, you know that you cannot continue living in a way that doesn't align with your soul's truth. You may feel like you're stuck in a situation that's not healthy for you, or perhaps you are in a relationship that doesn't feel right, even though you have been trying to make it work. This feeling of being torn between what you know and what you're doing can create a lot of inner tension. It's almost like you're fighting yourself, and the more you try to push forward, the more you feel drained and stuck. It's important to understand that this internal conflict is actually a sign that something needs to change. But change is hard. It's scary. And it can feel like everything will fall apart if you take a step toward the truth. But I want you to know that you deserve to live your truth, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. Living your truth now, let's talk about living your truth. Living your truth means accepting who you are at your core and allowing yourself to be guided by your own heart and soul. It means listening to the whispers of your inner voice and being brave enough to follow that guidance, even when it feels uncomfortable. Your truth is personal to you. It's not something that can be defined by anyone else. It's something that comes from within you, from your own heart, from your own experiences, and from your own understanding of life. Living your truth doesn't mean following a specific set of rules or trying to live up to someone else's expectations. It's about being authentic to yourself, even when the world may not understand or support your choices. But sometimes we become disconnected from our truth because we fear judgment, rejection, or failure. We worry about what others will think or how our decisions will affect the people around us. And while those concerns are valid, it's important to remember that your life is your own, and you have the right to live it authentically. This journey is not about pleasing others or meeting their standards. It's about honoring your own soul's journey and trusting that when you live your truth, everything else will fall into place. A specific message for someone. This is a very specific message for someone today. If you're reading this and you're in a same-sex relationship, I want to speak directly to you. Whether you're a woman in a relationship with another woman or a man in a relationship with another man, I want to let you know that this is not where you are meant to be. Now, I know this may sound difficult, and I want to approach this with the utmost compassion and understanding. What you are going through may not be easy to face, but I believe that your soul is trying to tell you something important. Maybe you've been struggling with this feeling for a while now, and it's been hard to admit to yourself that this relationship is not aligned with who you are or what your heart truly needs. Maybe you've ignored the signs or convinced yourself that things will get better. But deep down, you know that this relationship isn't the right fit for you. This is a moment for you to listen closely to your inner voice. It's time to let go of something that isn't meant for you. It's not about judging anyone or saying anything negative about your relationship. It's about acknowledging that sometimes, even when we love someone deeply, the connection we have with them is not the one we are meant to have. It's okay to let go. It's okay to honor your soul's path, even if it means making a difficult decision. Trust that when you release what isn't meant for you, you will create space for something better and more aligned with your true self. Moving forward, if this message is for you, I want to encourage you to take your time. You don't need to rush. There's no need to make any sudden decisions out of fear or pressure. The most important thing is to trust yourself. You are worthy of living a life that feels authentic and true to who you are. It's not always easy to make changes, especially when it involves relationships, but trust that you have the strength to do it. Take small steps towards listening to your heart. Seek support from those who truly understand you and can offer you guidance. Don't be afraid to ask for help, whether it's through therapy, talking with loved ones, or finding a community that supports you. And above all, remember that you are loved, you are worthy, and you are enough, just as you are. Your truth is important, and it deserves to be honored. I want to start by saying that I don't judge anyone for what they do with their life. We all have our own choices to make, and when it comes to your body, your feelings, and your decisions, that's between you and God. It's not my place to tell you what to do, and it's not my responsibility to tell you how to live. Each of us has the freedom to choose our own path, and that's important to remember. However, I'm here today because I feel that I need to share something with you. It's a message that I hope will give you peace and clarity, especially if you're going through something difficult. You may not know this now, but deep down, your soul is asking for something more, and I believe this message will speak to that part of you. I see that you're struggling, and I want to acknowledge that. It's not easy to be in a place where you feel torn between what your body or your desires might want and what your conscience or your soul is telling you. Many times, we find ourselves battling within. Maybe you're facing a situation that feels confusing or overwhelming, where you know what you're doing, but at the same time, you feel like something is off. It's hard to ignore those feelings when they're coming from your soul, telling you that something just doesn't feel right. It's a sign that something is out of alignment with who you really are deep down inside. Your soul has a voice, and it's trying to tell you something that's very important. Your body or your flesh may want one thing, but your soul is asking for another. I want to help you understand that this internal battle you're facing is not uncommon. We all go through moments when we question our choices, our relationships, and even our own identity. It's not always easy to listen to your soul when your body or your desires are strong. But there's a reason why your soul is trying to guide you in a different direction. The reason is simple. Your soul knows what is best for you, even when you might not fully understand it in the moment. I can see that you're struggling with something. You might be fighting to come to terms with what's happening in your life, and that's okay. This is a process, and I want you to know that you don't have to rush it. Take your time. It's normal to feel lost or unsure sometimes. But I want to share something important with you. You don't have to follow the path that others are taking. It's so easy to get caught up in the way the world sees things, especially when other people around you might be doing things that seem acceptable or normal. But deep inside, you know that what you're doing is not the right choice for you. Your soul is telling you that it's not the path that will bring you peace or fulfillment. We live in a world where a lot of people encourage others to follow trends or behaviors that might not align with their true selves. Sometimes it's easy to go along with what others are doing because it feels like the thing to do or because you don't want to feel different. But deep down, you know that your path is different. The way others live their lives does not have to be the way you live yours. Your soul knows what is meant for you, and that's the most important voice you should listen to. I see that you're struggling to break free from something that doesn't feel right. And I want to remind you that it's okay to feel that way. It doesn't mean you're bad or evil. It simply means that you're listening to your inner voice, which is trying to guide you towards something better. It's important to understand that what you're going through right now doesn't define you. It's just part of your journey. You might feel like you're stuck or that you're caught between two worlds, but I want you to know that there is a way out. It's not an easy road, and it's not always going to be clear, but there is a way to step away from what's not right for you. There is a way to disconnect from things or people that are holding you back from your true self. Sometimes we form relationships or attachments that are not healthy for us. These connections might make us feel comfortable or accepted for a time, but they can also prevent us from becoming who we are truly meant to be. If you've been struggling with a relationship or friendship that you know is not serving you, I want to encourage you to let go of it. It's okay to walk away. You don't have to stay in something that's not good for your soul. Letting go doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean you're rejecting anyone or that you're doing something wrong. It simply means that you are choosing to take care of your soul and your well-being. It means you are choosing to follow the path that is right for you, even if that path looks different from the paths others are walking. I see that you're fighting with yourself over this, and I want you to understand that this struggle is real, but it's also temporary. You can find peace, and you can find freedom from the things that are holding you back. Today, I want you to think about your life and your choices. You have the power to change. You have the ability to choose a different path, one that aligns with your soul's purpose. It might not be easy, but it is possible. Letting go of something that is not meant for you can be one of the most freeing things you can do. It's about releasing what doesn't belong in your life so that you can make room for what truly matters. It's about trusting yourself enough to know that you are worth more than the things that are dragging you down. I know this is not an easy message to hear, but I'm telling you this because I care about you. I want you to be happy, and I want you to live a life that is true to who you are. Your soul is trying to tell you something. Your soul is trying to bring you peace, but it can only do that if you listen. It's time to release those connections or relationships that are not meant for you. It's time to let go of the things that are weighing you down and holding you back. It's time to choose the path that leads to your true happiness and fulfillment. This doesn't mean that everything will be perfect right away. Change takes time, and it takes effort. But the most important thing is that you make the decision to start. Once you decide that you want to change, once you choose to listen to your soul, you'll find the strength to move forward. You'll find the courage to release what isn't meant for you. And you'll begin to walk a path that is aligned with your true self. Remember, this is not about rejecting yourself or others. It's about honoring who you really are deep inside. It's about trusting that your soul knows the way, even if the world around you is telling you something different. You are not alone in this struggle, and I understand what you're going through. I'm here to encourage you and remind you that it's okay to take your time, to step away from what doesn't serve you, and to find the peace that your soul is calling you to. Please take this message to God and let it speak to your heart. I'm just sharing what I feel, but I know that God has a plan for you, a plan that is filled with peace, love, and fulfillment. I hope that this message gives you the clarity and comfort you need. Take a moment to reflect on it, and trust that the right path will become clear to you as you listen to your soul. Sending you blessings and peace on your journey. You are not alone, and you are loved.